Welcome to Star Bios, the podcast where we delve into the fascinating lives of Hollywood's most beloved stars. I'm your host, Casey Gold, and today we're shining the spotlight on a comedy legend who has been making audiences laugh for generations, the inimitable Stan Laurel. With his signature tousled hair, bushy eyebrows, and endearing on-screen persona, Stan Laurel is an icon of slapstick humor, best known as one half of the legendary duo Laurel and Hardy. But before he became a household name, Stan Laurel was just Arthur Stanley Jefferson, a young boy growing up in the charming town of Ulverston, Lancashire, England, surrounded by the rolling hills and picturesque landscapes of the Lake District. As we step into the world of Stan's childhood, imagine the sound of laughter and music drifting from the local theater, where his father, Arthur Joseph Jefferson, was the manager and a performer. The smell of grease paint and sawdust filled the air, and the thrill of live performances was palpable. Born on June 16, 1890, to Arthur and Madge Metcalf, Stan's early life was marked by a strong connection to the world of entertainment. His father's theater, the Ulverston Music Hall, was a hub of activity, hosting a diverse range of acts, from comedians and musicians to acrobats and dancers. As a child, Stan would often sneak into the wings, mesmerized by the likes of Charlie Chaplin and Dan Leno, who would later become significant influences on his own comedic style. Growing up in Ulverston, Stan was surrounded by the majestic beauty of the Lake District, with its sparkling lakes, lush forests, and towering mountains. The town itself was a charming mix of old and new, with cobblestone streets, quaint shops, and bustling markets. It was here that Stan developed a deep love for nature and the outdoors, often spending hours exploring the surrounding countryside, climbing trees, and playing in the nearby woods. However, it was the theater that truly captivated his imagination, with its magic, spectacle, and ability to transport audiences to another world. Stan's mother, Madge, a former actress herself, played a pivotal role in nurturing her son's creative pursuits. She recognized the spark of talent that burned within him and encouraged Stan to explore his passion for performance. Together, they would attend traveling circuses and pantomimes, where Stan was captivated by the death-defying acrobats, hilarious clowns, and mesmerizing illusionists. These early experiences fueled his fascination with physical comedy and acrobatics, laying the foundation for the slapstick humor that would become a hallmark of his career. As Stan entered his teenage years, he began to develop a passion for gymnastics and tumbling, skills that would serve him well in his future career as a silent film star. He attended the King James I Grammar School in Bishop Auckland, where he excelled in sports, particularly rugby and cricket, but struggled with academic subjects. It was clear that Stan's true calling lay in the world of entertainment, and at the age of 16, he joined his father's theater company as a stagehand and occasional performer. The early 1900s were an exciting time for the British music hall scene, with its rich array of comedians, musicians, and variety acts. Stan was fortunate to be a part of this vibrant world, learning from some of the best performers of the era and honing his craft as a singer, dancer, and comedian. He would often sneak into the dressing rooms of visiting stars, soaking up their stories and advice like a sponge. It was during this period that Stan began to develop his own unique persona, a lovable, hapless everyman with a knack for getting into absurd situations. As Stan navigated the world of music halls, he encountered a diverse range of characters, each with their own unique story to tell. There was the charismatic comedian who could reduce an audience to tears of laughter with a single raised eyebrow, the daring acrobat who would leap from towering heights and land with precision on the stage below, and the enigmatic illusionist who could make objects disappear and reappear at will. These performers inspired Stan, and he began to experiment with his own brand of comedy, blending physical humor with clever wordplay and witty observations. With his father's guidance and support, Stan was poised to take the first steps toward stardom, navigating the challenges and opportunities of a rapidly changing entertainment landscape. The die had been cast, and Stan Laurel's journey to becoming one of the most iconic comedians of the 20th century was about to begin in earnest. As Stan Laurel's career began to take shape, He found himself drawn to the vibrant world of pantomime and silent film, where exaggerated gestures, facial expressions, and physical comedy reigned supreme. In 1909, he joined the esteemed Fred Carnot comedy troupe, a renowned ensemble that would prove instrumental in shaping his comedic style and honing his skills as a master of mirth. It was during this period that Stan developed his signature cry face, a contorted expression of mock despair that would become an instant recognizable trademark, etched into the memories of audiences worldwide. Under Carnot's guidance, Stan perfected the art of slapstick, learning to wield his body like a rubber band, stretching and contorting it in impossible ways. He mastered the delicate balance between physical comedy and pathos, creating a sense of vulnerability that made his characters both laughable and lovable. As he navigated the world of vaudeville, Stan's unique brand of humor began to take shape, influenced by the likes of Charlie Chaplin, with whom he would develop a close friendship during their time together in the Carnot troupe. In 1910, Stan sailed to the United States with the Fred Carnot troupe, performing in various vaudeville shows and gaining valuable experience in front of American audiences. The bright lights, bustling streets, and eclectic mix of cultures in cities like New York and Chicago left an indelible mark on Stan's imagination, inspiring him to create characters that were both universally relatable and uniquely his own. It was during this tour that he met Charlie Chaplin, a fellow member of the Carnot troupe, who would go on to become one of the most iconic figures in cinema history. The two comedians developed a close bond, often sharing ideas and techniques that would influence their respective careers and shape the course of comedy history. As Stan's career gained momentum, he began to experiment with different characters and personas, eventually developing his beloved Stanley character, a lovable but hapless everyman who often found himself entangled in absurd misadventures. This endearing protagonist would become the cornerstone of Stan's comedic universe, allowing him to explore themes of innocence, perseverance, and the human condition. One of Stan's earliest successes came with the 1918 film Huns and Hyphens, a hilarious send-up of wartime propaganda that showcased his unique brand of physical comedy and clever satire. In the early 1920s, Stan began to collaborate with Laurel and Hardy, a fellow comedian who would become his partner in one of the most beloved comedy duos of all time. Their initial pairing came in 1921 with the film The Lucky Dog, a charming short that laid the groundwork for their future success. As they worked together, Stan and Ollie developed an uncanny chemistry, their contrasting personalities and comedic styles blending together like two pieces of a puzzle. Over the next several years, they refined their on-screen partnership, perfecting their timing and creating a sense of camaraderie that would become the hallmark of their films. One of the most significant events in Stan's career came in 1927 when he and Hardy signed with the Hal Roach Studio, beginning a fruitful partnership that would yield some of the greatest comedies of the silent era. Their first major success together came with the 1927 film, The Second 100 Years, a side-splitting short that showcased their unique blend of physical comedy and witty banter. As Stan recalled, "We were two minds with but a single thought, to make people laugh." This singular focus would drive their creative partnership for over 2 decades, yielding some of the most enduring comedies in cinema history. Throughout the late 1920s and early 1930s, Stan and Ollie continued to produce a string of hilarious shorts, each one showcasing their unique brand of physical comedy and clever wordplay. Films like The Battle of the Century, 1927, Leave 'Em Laughing, 1928, and Big Business, 1929, cemented their status as two of the greatest comedians of their era, earning them a devoted following among audiences around the world. As the 1930s dawned, Stan and Ollie began to make the transition to sound films, adapting their comedic style to the new technology with remarkable ease. Over the next several years, they would continue to produce a string of beloved comedies, including Sons of the Desert, 1933, Babes in Toyland, 1934, and Bonnie Scotland, 1935. As they navigated the challenges of sound, Stan and Ollie remained committed to their artistic vision, using the new technology to enhance their comedic storytelling rather than simply relying on it. Stan's contributions to comedy extended far beyond his on-screen performances. He was a prolific writer, director, and producer, working tirelessly behind the scenes to bring his unique vision to life. His creative partnership with Laurel Hardy was built on a foundation of trust, respect, and mutual admiration, allowing them to push each other to new heights of comedic excellence. Together, they created a body of work that continues to inspire generations of comedians, filmmakers, and audiences alike. As the 1940s progressed, Stan Laurel's creative output began to slow, but his legacy continued to grow like a timeless flame that refused to be extinguished. He and Laurel Hardy remained one of the most beloved comedy duos, with their films still enchanting audiences around the world in a shared experience of laughter and joy. The iconic duo's movies had become an integral part of popular culture, evoking memories of simpler times and happier moments. In the late 1940s and early 1950s, they embarked on a series of successful tours, performing live on stage and entertaining fans with their unique brand of physical comedy that was both elegant and absurd. The tours took them to packed theaters, music halls, and even circus tents, where they would regale audiences with their hilarious misadventures, clever pranks, and unforgettable characters. As they traveled from city to city, Stan and Ollie would often take time to engage with their fans, signing autographs, posing for photographs, and sharing stories about their experiences in the film industry. However, in 1955, disaster struck when Stan Laurel suffered a stroke that left him partially paralyzed and forced him to retire from performing. The news sent shockwaves through the entertainment world, as fans and fellow performers alike rallied around the ailing comedy legend. Despite his poor health, Stan's indomitable spirit refused to be defeated, and he continued to work behind the scenes, writing and directing material for other comedians. The loss of his partner, Laurel Hardy, in 1957 was a devastating blow that left Stan reeling. The two had been more than just colleagues. They were close friends who had shared a lifetime of laughter, tears, and adventures. Stan was heartbroken, but he remained committed to preserving their legacy, ensuring that the comedy duo's timeless humor would continue to inspire future generations. As he navigated this difficult period, Stan found solace in his work, using it as a coping mechanism to deal with the pain of losing his partner. In the 1960s, Stan Laurel's contributions to comedy were recognized with numerous awards and accolades, a fitting tribute to his pioneering work in the field. He received a special Academy Award in 1961 for his creative pioneering in the field of comedy, an honor that left him deeply humbled and grateful. The award ceremony was a poignant moment, as Stan, still recovering from his stroke, accepted the accolade with characteristic humility, acknowledging the debt he owed to Laurel Hardy and the countless others who had supported him throughout his career. Stan was also awarded a star in the Hollywood Walk of Fame, a permanent testament to his enduring impact on the entertainment industry. As he looked back on his life, Stan reflected on the enduring power of comedy, saying, "I think laughter is the greatest medicine, and I've been fortunate enough to have been able to prescribe it to people all over the world." These words captured the essence of his philosophy, one that emphasized the transformative potential of humor to bring people together, transcend borders, and overcome adversity. As Stan Laurel passed away on February 23, 1965, at the age of 74, the comedy world mourned the loss of a true legend. His legacy, however, continued to inspire comedians and entertainers, ensuring that his memory would live on through the countless laughter-filled moments he had created. Today, Stan Laurel is remembered as a true pioneer of comedy, a master of physical humor, and a gifted writer and director who left an indelible mark on the entertainment industry. His influence can be seen in the work of countless comedians, from Charlie Chaplin to Monty Python, and his legacy continues to inspire new generations of entertainers. The likes of Jim Carrey, Steve Carell, and Rowan Atkinson have all cited Stan as a major inspiration, acknowledging the debt they owe to the comedic genius who paved the way for their own success. His commitment to the craft, his innovative approach to physical humor, and his generous spirit have created a lasting legacy that will continue to bring joy and laughter to people for years to come. As we bid farewell to this beloved comedian, we take comfort in the knowledge that his legacy will continue to inspire, entertain, and delight audiences for generations to come. That's all for today's Star Bios. Remember to like, share, and subscribe. And until next time, I'm Casey Gold, reminding you to keep shooting for the stars.